Hello everyone, if you guys are looking for information about some network security threats and ways to prevent them, well then you guys are at the right place. My name is Saibdeep Singh and today we are going to talk about network security threats and what we can do to prevent it. So, who should be concerned regarding all these security threats out there? Well, anyone who uses computers, mobile devices, internet, email, or social network can easily lose their privacy. Cybersecurity doesn't involve just businesses and the government. Your computer, tablet, and cell phone probably contain information that hackers and other criminals would love to have, like other people's email addresses, names, and birth dates. Suppose, for example, a hacker had access to your contact information. He could then send an email or text message to everyone you know, using your name, encouraging them to click on a link containing malware, like, "Hey Jane, I thought you'd love this. Click here." I think that you all should know a little bit about the topic itself before I go ahead and reveal all the bad stuff about it. So, let's go over the principles of cybersecurity. First up is confidentiality. Well, confidentiality can be roughly equivalent to privacy. Confidentiality refers to protecting information from being accessed by unauthorized parties. In other words, only the people who are authorized to do so can gain access to sensitive data. And a failure to maintain confidentiality means that someone who shouldn't have access has managed to get it, through intentional behavior or by accident. Now let's go over the second principle, which is integrity. Integrity mainly involves maintaining the consistency, accuracy, and trustworthiness of data over its entire life cycle. It refers to ensuring the authenticity of information, that information is not altered, and that the source of the information is genuine. Imagine that you have a website and you sell products on that site. Now imagine that an attacker can shop on your website and maliciously alter the prices of your products, so that they can buy anything for whatever price they choose. That would be a failure of integrity, because your information, in this case, the price of a product, has been altered and you didn't authorize this alteration. The third and the last principle of cybersecurity is availability. Availability means that information is accessible by authorized users. If an attacker is not able to compromise the first two elements of information security that we talked about before, then they may try to execute attacks like denial of service that would bring down the server, making the website unavailable to legitimate users due to lack of availability. In a connected world, we each have a responsibility to protect ourselves and the people we interact with, and it all starts with understanding cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is one of the most important aspects to consider when working over the internet, LAN, or other method. While there is no network that is immune to all kinds of attacks, a stable and efficient cybersecurity system is essential to protecting your devices from data theft and sabotage. Cybersecurity helps protect your data from harmful spyware. It also ensures that shared data is kept secure. Cybersecurity infrastructure provides several levels of protection to prevent MIM attacks by breaking down information into numerous parts, encrypting these parts and transmitting them through independent paths, thus preventing cases like eavesdropping. Let's talk about the most common network security threats. These threats that are before you are just the most common ones attackers usually use. There are new ones that just keeps on popping up. Whether it's a culture of fear out of being online and placing trust in leaving our information out, for the whole world to see, or whether the threats that wait in the dark corners of the internet are truly serious and can happen to anyone, the best thing we can all do is to be prepared. There is no way to be completely sure that a system is impenetrable by a cybersecurity threat. But still we need to ensure that our systems are as secure as possible. Even though there is a lot of technology out in the world to help attackers in gaining access of our files, there is also a lot of technology that can help us to keep the attackers out. Let's talk about some of these threats in more detail. First, let's talk about man-in-the-middle attack, which according to me, is one of the most interesting types of cyber attack. A man-in-the-middle attack requires 3 players. There's the victim, the entity with which the victim is trying to communicate, and the man in the middle, who's intercepting the victim's communications. Critical to the scenario is that the victim isn't aware of the man in the middle. How does this attack play out though? Let's say you received an email that appeared to be from your bank, asking you to log into your account to confirm your contact information. You click on a link in the email and are taken to what appears to be your bank's website, where you log in and perform the requested task. In such a scenario, the man in the middle sent you the email, making it appear to be legitimate. This attack also involves phishing, getting you to click on the email appearing to come from your bank. He also created a website that looks just like your bank's website, so you wouldn't hesitate to enter your login credentials after clicking the link in the email. But when you do that, you're not logging into your bank account, you're handing over your credentials to the attacker. Phishing. It is a cyber attack that uses disguised email as a weapon. The goal is to trick the email recipient into believing that the message is something they want or need, a request from their bank, for instance, or a note from someone in their company, and to click a link or download an attachment. There also are a number of steps you can take and mindsets you should get into that will keep you from becoming a phishing statistic, including: always check the spelling of the URLs in email links before you click or enter sensitive information. Watch out for URL redirects, where you're subtly sent to a different website with identical design. If you receive an email from a source you know but it seems suspicious, contact that source with a new email, rather than just hitting reply. Don't post personal data, like your birthday, vacation plans, or your address or phone number, publicly on social media. SQL injection attack. It is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to its database. It generally allows an attacker to view data that they are not normally able to retrieve. This might include data belonging to other users, or any other data that the application itself is able to access. In many cases, an attacker can modify or delete this data, causing persistent changes to the application's content or behavior. Attackers can use SQL injection vulnerabilities to bypass application security measures. They can go around authentication and authorization of a web page or web application and retrieve the content of the entire SQL database. They can also use SQL injection to add, modify, and delete records in the database. Well, after talking so much about cybersecurity and the attacks used by the attackers to hack other people's data, let's see some simple ways to apply cybersecurity to keep the attackers out of your private files. One can use methods like storage encryption, reduce transfer of data, restrict download, shred files, ban unencrypted device, secure transfer, a good password, automate security, identify threats, monitor data leakage, track data, define accessibility, breach response, stop incursion, security training. Most people have this idea that hacking into someone's account or retrieving a person's data is the easiest thing to do, and the only reason this belief is there is because of what those people see in movies. Well, they are wrong, because real-life hacking takes a lot of effort and skills. Here is a funny comparison between movie and real-life hacking. Well, that concludes this video. Thank you everyone for listening me till the end.